A&E had a show called Psychic Kids, Children of the Paranormal, that I was fortunate enough to do an episode on their second season. And I went in as a paranormal investigator, and my job or my role in that show was to show the children who had these psychic abilities how they could also use some of the scientific tools to kind of back up what they were feeling.
No, I mean, I'm a firm believer in reincarnation. So old soul, it goes back into the gifted kids. You can just sense it, you can see it. Like you said, see it in their eyes. It ain't their first rodeo.
And I got to do Psychic Kids too, and meet some kids who are just coming into their own abilities, and I can say for sure that it seems to me like there are a lot of kids born about 10 to 15 years ago that are coming into some really, really incredible abilities, and I think they're here for a reason. So should you know a child that has some abilities, listen, pay attention. They might be right. Sometimes people feel it energetically too without even really looking or hearing. You know, sometimes a child talks and they're advanced, and we'll say that, oh, they're an old soul because they sound so smart. But sometimes just being around them, you can feel there's a familiarity about them. I just think they're coming in with more knowledge. Look up the topic: crystal children, indigo children, star children. I don't know if anything is different about an indigo child than a star child. I think we've just switched labels and called them something cooler, you know. But there's all kinds of information that is out there.
The paranormal 15 years ago to the paranormal now, it's a lot different. You know, I mean, I've noticed that even in the past 5 years. But I think now that there's more parents that are willing to talk about it, but I think at the same time, I think they go hand in hand. I think that it's more open talked about, but I think that there are more kids now too. You know, and I can relate to where, you know, I see the kids, you know, that have come to me, you know, for guidance, and they've come to Michelle for guidance, and come, you know, through Psychic Kids and the different avenues that kids can, you know, and it's another, you know, avenue to get bullied at too, but it's just, you know, to let your kid, you know, be who they are and embrace them for who they are. Teaching them tools to protect themselves, yes. How to ground their energies, how to keep themselves aligned, how to keep themselves centered, of course. But to go and tell them, you know, if you go and you shield a child, and if you know, I'm a big believer that let your kid fall down on the, you know, on the monkey swings and fall down and land on their butt. Are they going to die from it? No. You know, I mean, that's how my kids are going to be. You know, they're going to fall down and get hurt. They're going to break an arm probably. It's going to happen. But they need to learn it. You know, we all touch the hot stove. As long as they know how to protect themselves, yes, then it's good. But I think that if you go in there and you just throw a kid, and this is one thing that I've always respected about you and your work on Psychic Kids, was that they took the kids into a location, but they made sure that, you know, they knew what they were going into, and if things got too hot and heavy, then it was time to go. You know, and I think that's an important thing, which is why you have to find the right person for your kid.
I've gotten lots of emails and lots of Facebook messages and any way to get a hold of me, mostly from parents looking for advice on what to do with their children that are claiming these abilities. First, I would tell you that that's great, and that there are a lot more children, it seems like, that are having experiences that they can't explain. Parenting a psychic child is really no different than parenting a non-psychic child. We put on that parent hat and we do what we have to do, whether or not they're educationally gifted and they're ahead of their class. We provide them other opportunities so that they don't become bored. If you have a child who has athletic skills, we make sure to give them those opportunities. So it's just a switching of your hat a little bit to make sure that, you know, they've got whatever it is they need, and we all want to do that naturally anyway. But protection is important. Not so much that I think that it actually protects them. I don't think that things stay away just because I've said this, but it's their confidence, it's their energy. So when they say a prayer of protection, for me anyway, it just makes my energy different, and it's not as attractive to things that are not of the same kind of level. Don't automatically assume that it's a mental health issue. Certainly get some help from professionals, from physicians and therapists to rule those things out. But believe what your child is saying, and I think we're coming into a time, everything is shifting. We're getting closer to a new time, and these kids are coming gifted and strong and absolutely wonderful.